Have you ever wondered what it's really like to work on a cruise ship or how people even land those jobs? Well, let me take you back to how I started, what the process was like, and that crazy feeling of stepping on board for the very first time. If you're interested, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so story time. Before cruise life, I was a casino dealer at a resort in Manila. My bosses would always tell stories about working on ships and traveling the world, seeing different countries every contract, and I thought, wow, I want that too. So that's when the dream started. I didn't get in right away though. I applied everywhere. I tried Carnival, Costa Cruises, Norwegian, Celebrity, MSC, Princess, and Royal, and every day off I'd go from one agency to another, handing out my CV. I think I did that for 3 months straight before anyone replied. Finally, Costa Cruises called me back. I was on a graveyard shift and showed up to the agency half asleep for my first interview. Then they told me to wait 3 to 5 business days for the results. And on the 4th day, I got the call that I passed. Next was the final interview and the table test. I had to call in sick just to go. So I went to the venue, walked into the room, and I saw this guy in a suit. He introduced himself, he was from Australia, and I was super terrified. He asked me the basic questions, tell me something about yourself, how long have you been dealing, why should I hire you? And he asked me to deal blackjack and roulette, games that I barely touched at work. Because my very first game was craps or dice, so I mostly dealt craps at work and baccarat. But I had done my homework. I watched tons of YouTube videos, practiced at home, and somehow I pulled it off. Right there, he offered me the job, and I couldn't believe it. Now, here's the part people don't usually see. The process after. The trainings, the medical exams, the visas. Each training was like $80 to $150, which was basically 2 weeks of my salary. And there were 5 or 6 of them. Plus, I was helping pay for my brother's college tuition. I had to pay for rent, for food, for transportation. So I had to borrow money. But I kept telling myself it was all going to be worth it. And it was. On December 20th of 2014, I got a call. I was leaving January 27th of 2015, just one day before my birthday. It was the best early Christmas and birthday gift ever. Joining Costa Serena in Shanghai, China, on my birthday was unreal. I saw the ship for the first time and it was massive. When I got on board and saw my cabin, I was shocked how tiny it was, and I had to share it with another crew. But I didn't care because I was already there. I am so thankful that the crew on board my first contract were super nice, super helpful. They guided me and they welcomed me. They made me feel like family. The first few weeks on board was super tough. A lot of safety training, ship familiarization, plus I had to familiarize myself with all the games in the casino. But you will always find someone who will guide you and who will help you. So the friendships you build on board are like family. You're stuck together, so the bonds are real. That first contract opened so many doors for me. So after Costa, I got the opportunity to move to Norwegian Cruise Line. My first contract there was on the Norwegian Dawn, sailing out of New Orleans. My first time in the US. So over time, I did 7 contracts with NCL. First was the Dawn, then the Pearl, then the Spirit, and I did 4 back-to-backs on the Breakaway. I saw Alaska, the Caribbean, crossed the Atlantic Ocean, saw the Baltics, saw the Meds. Then the pandemic hit. I thought ship life was over. I stayed at home for 2 years, started a business, did some online work. Then, crazy enough, January 27th of 2022, one day before my birthday again, I got an email from Royal. Fast forward to today, I'm working on the biggest cruise ship in the world, Star of the Seas. From a kid in Manila just dreaming about ship life, to actually living that dream. Looking back, I am so glad I didn't give up. Cruise life isn't perfect. Long hours, tiny cabins, homesickness, but the experiences, the travel, the people, the growth, it's 100% worth it. So if you're thinking about applying, here's my advice. Be ready for tons of paperwork. Don't quit your job until you've signed a contract or until you have your flight details. Save money because the process is expensive. Make sure you've got solid experience for the role. And during the interview, show your best self. Most importantly, don't let your dream stay a dream. 10 years ago, I was just listening to stories about ships, and now I'm living mine. So, whatever your dream is, whether it's travel, ships, or something totally different, take that first step. You never know how far it'll take you. Alright, guys, so that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, like and subscribe. Ciao!